After a highly contested qualifiers and a beautiful opening ceremony, Tour de Endurance Season 4, hosted by the Condiment Kings, is finally here with the opening event classic, the Duo Funnel Duel. Hello everybody, coming from the commentator tower this time is myself, your commentator Angus, and your co-commentator, Ramen Powder.
We've made it through the qualifiers, and now 16 teams have reached here, the A-League of Tour de Endurance in Season 4. We will have the Duo Funnel Duel to open things out. We saw this event in the qualifiers, and it's a classic in Tour de Endurance. Two marbles will represent their teams and go down this course to try to get the best combined time among the whole field. There will be no advancement, just one chance for all teams to set a good time with their two marbles. We'll see the Expedition pre-show teams show us how it's done with the Super Cat-sized Sky Dragons and the rest. But this event has been in multiple past editions of the tournament, and we'll see what teams can do this time.
The only season to not feature Duo Funnel Duel was Season 2, and since, as a result, Navy SEALs held the record in Season 1, but that record was broken 3 times in Season 4's qualifiers. Now it's currently held by the Neptune Nomads, with a 136.03 coming into this event. That is the mark that would definitely confirm you a podium, but as you can see here, you've got to keep yourself clean and keep your partner away from contact, otherwise you're just going to push yourself through the funnel and have a shambolic run. Currently Super Cat-size, you have, see, at least have 1 and 3, and they will finish in the 3rd place spot, and Team Cameo there is just going to give them a nudge and 1-3 Super Cat-size. That's what you want to do, but it is all about the time. It's not just your positions. Time is much more important.
You're absolutely right. We saw in the qualifiers teams really bring their A game to this event. Even getting a 1-2 in the positions was not enough for certain teams to get the win overall, and I'm sure teams in this opening event of the season will bring their A game just like they did back then. And we're going to get ready for the event, the main event, to start. There you can see our 4 heats of 4 to kick off Tour de Endurance in Season 4. Serpent Speeders, Blue Brigade, Crazy Chickens, and the Cosmonauts in the very first heat of the season.
And we're off in Season 4, a raucous cheer from the crowd as we're underway. Serpent Speeders won the auto qualifiers, Cosmonauts won the qualifiers, Crazy Chickens and Blue Brigade qualified solidly. We'll see what they can do here. In terms of their performance in Duo Funnel Duel over the years, Serpent Speeders have been consistent, Cosmonauts have been pretty poor, and Blue Brigade have been consistently good. We'll see how Crazy Chickens, they don't have really much to work with and currently have the lower orders. Blue Brigade there vault over the funnel and lose several positions and are now well behind one of their competitors. The other one's going to have to pull back to try and get a good score here.
Serpent Speeders have a 1-2 position now. Blue Brigade, their last marble has dropped on into the final funnel, and it looks like they're going to drop on through first. Serpent Speeders looking very good still with that 1-2. That Blue Brigade marble does finish. It's a mix-up between the Cosmonauts and the Cheese Balls for 2nd place right now. Serpent Speeders still trying to keep that wire. They come into contact with some other marbles that are doing a very good job of holding on. Cosmonauts now lose a marble. Both Crazy Chickens down towards the end.
One of them comes on through, the other one holds out with a Serpent Speeder and a Cosmonaut. The Cosmonaut looks to fall on through, and both of the Cosmonauts are now done. The Blue Brigade has done his best to try and pull back for the team, but it's unable to pull through. Serpent Speeders, they had a good run going, but they end up finishing in just 3rd place. Crazy Chickens come through in 2nd, but look at the time from this top marble, stretching well beyond 1:20. This is the best individual time I think we've ever seen from just any competitor in Duo Funnel Duel. What will this mean for the record or the overall standings of the event? Holy moly, pushing to 90 seconds. Unbelievable.
And it's going to be 80.48 for Basilisk of the Serpent Speeders. You know, unlike in other funnel events, doing that, spinning in the final funnel for so long by themselves is really important in this event, especially if you're near the first heat, because you don't know what the other marbles in the other heats are going to do. And that was some great funnel spinning in that final funnel by that Serpent marble. We'll see if that rewards them later in this event. And it's a new Tour de Endurance record in the very first heat of the event, beating the one from the Neptune Nomads of a 136.03. Serpent Speeders, after auto-qualifying in their home season, have come to play in Season 4.
What a time that was! 15 seconds clear of the record by the Neptune Nomads, which was hard fought for in the qualifiers. They didn't even get a 1-2 in that race, but Serpent Speeders had wonderful consistency across the entire run rather than just pulling back at the end. But here you see the Condiment Kings, the home team, representing the home fans here. They are getting very excited, other fans in the stands. But Marauders, Honeycombs, with the 2 former Stingers members, Flutter and Buzz, and the White Knights, who currently are in the worst situation, I would say, while Marauders are looking pretty good, while one fights with Condiment Kings and one stays up top.
The White Knights have 2 marbles towards the bottom. One of them is joined by a Condiment King, while the Marauders and the Honeycombs are looking pretty good. Now the Marauders do fall, and so do the Honeycombs. Marauders have one. Ooh, White Knights have already lost one, as everyone is still spinning. Honeycombs now look more precarious position, and one Condiment Kings will finish.
Honeycombs have both of theirs in the bottom funnel. One comes on through as I say that. Marauders, though, jump in and give the Honeycombs a bit of a push, but I think it might be too late for that last Honeycomb member. They're going to come in a 6 and 4 to the Honeycombs, and they're all finished. There's one remaining for all 3 of the teams. It's going to be a close battle to the bottom. White Knights come on through for 3rd place, and it's going to be the Marauders with Wormtail to win the race, but the other Marauder finishes in 5th, and I don't think any of these times are going to even come close to the Serpent Speeders, but should compete for a provisional podium.
Yeah, the whole heat was much closer, I'd have to say, in this one as a result. And because of that, you can see the times really lower than what we saw from especially the top marbles in the previous heat. The Marauders in that the Wormtail for the Marauders, they did hold out for the win individually in this one, but I'm not sure if that will elevate them much higher than perhaps 3rd or 2nd. It's 3rd place for the Marauders, 123.83, just barely on the provisional podium, but I imagine they might lose that with 2 heats to go.
Crazy Chickens currently hold the 2nd place spot, as they also had a very good time in the first heat that was overlooked by that phenomenal Serpent Speeders run, as Cheeseballs, Party Crashers, Grayscales, and Neptune Nomads ran out the next heat. And this is a statistically very strong heat. Cheeseballs won this in the B League last season, Party Crashers won this in the Season 3 main league, Neptune Nomads used to hold the record and they won the qualifiers, Grayscales as well, just statistically probably the greatest Tour de Endurance team of all time. So the strongest Duo Funnel Duel heat we have so far today, you could call it the heat of death, as the Grayscales currently 1-8, everyone else is all over the place, a very disjointed race so far.
The Party Crashers holding strong with those 2 marbles in the same funnel. They're joined by a Neptune Nomad and a Cheeseball. The Cheeseball does fall down. Grayscales have the individual lead, but they come together with a Neptune Nomad. Neptune Nomads also have 1 marble in the bottom funnel. They're joined by a Cheeseball. It's going to be the Cheeseball that finishes first.
And it's a battle for the top Grayscales. That Marble's held the lead the entire time. Now his teammate is trying to do his best to push his time forward. Neptune Nomads and Party Crashers both have lost one. Both the Grayscales are still running. Neptune Nomads are done. That last Grayscales had a phenomenal stand in that last funnel. He's looking to go for a 1-2 for the Grayscales, but it's anyone's race. One Party Crasher falls on through, and there goes the Grayscales. They get pushed down by the Cheeseballs. And look at the chaos here. Grayscales 2-3, Cheeseballs 1 and 8, and Neptune Nomads and Party Crashers just fizzled out in the middle. I don't know where these are going to stand, but I think Grayscales are going to slot in pretty well with both of their times above 60 seconds.
Yeah, that deal at the bottom is pretty important. You can see that final Cheeseball after having everyone finish ahead of them. The Cheeseball was able to have some free space to spin for a bit more, but I don't think any of these teams will catch the Serpent Speeders. Grayscales do get on the provisional podium with that 2-3 finish, 129.93. They didn't on 30, but that is good enough for 3rd place right now. We'll see if anyone in the final heat can contest it, with the Jade Jockeys, Green Peacocks, Citrus Sprinters, and the Hell Clowns.
And they go off Jade Jockeys, of course. They know their funnels well, but they've been struggling lately. Green Peacock silver in this event last season. Hellclowns and Citrus Sprinters, they have not found their Duo Funnel Duel form in a long time. I don't think they've ever had it, to be honest. But we'll see how this one pans out overall. I don't know if anyone's going to catch the Serpent Speeders based on what we've seen in the previous 2 heats, but currently it is another very disjointed race. Citrus Sprinters have the lead, but also there's one might in the middle there, while Jade Jockeys and Green Peacocks seem to be struggling a bit down below, while also excelling up top. Again, a very disjointed race.
Yeah, it would take 1 marble to just get way ahead of the rest of the field and have everyone else finish, while that marble has 2, maybe 3 funnels remaining for anyone to come close to Serpent Speeders and Basilisk. And it is Hell Clowns and Citrus Sprinters looking to finish through first. Hell Clowns will have the first marble that rock on those. Green Peacocks now have both marbles in the bottom. Jade Jockeys have a 1-2 position right now. They're looking pretty good in the last part of this heat.
Oh, one of them comes on through into that battle and falls on through in 4th place. So the 1-2 falls to pieces, but look at this. This last jockey has a full funnel to himself. What can he do to try and stretch that time forward? That is Shamrock pushing as hard as he can, perhaps for a podium. It's pushing towards 70 seconds. Jade Jockeys, this is going to be very close as they come on through at 70 seconds. It depends on what Emerald got, and it's going to be a 53.73. The other teams, I don't think, are going to come close to competing for a podium. But Jade Jockeys, they're going to be edge of their seat here. It's going to be very close for those podium spots.
with a 70 and a 53. That's going to be about 123. I'm not sure that will be enough for the Jade Jockeys to get on the podium and dispatch the Grayscales, but still a great effort by Shamrock of the Jade Jockeys to spin for as long as they could. It's good enough for 4th place for them. Grayscales will hold on to their podium, and that means the Serpent Speeders will win the first gold of Tour de Endurance in Season 4.
And it was completely uncontested, a full 20 seconds ahead of their competitor in the first heat, Crazy Chickens. Serpent Speeders completely have took their A game to this first event and have set the tone for what they're going to do this season. So naturally, Serpent Speeders go to the top of the standings with 25 points. Crazy Chickens and Grayscale second and third, the first podium of the season. Hellclowns, rough start, but of course it is still anyone's game, being the first event, as balancing will be the next one. We'll see you for that.